Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This is the verbatim federal courtroom testimony of the Sean Diddy Combs trial as reported by Inner City Press. When Kanye West stepped into the courtroom, no one expected what he was about to say, but what he revealed left the gallery frozen in disbelief. Staring straight ahead, Kanye declared that Sean Diddy Combs wasn't just a music mogul. He was connected to the mysterious death of the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. And he wasn't speaking metaphorically. Kanye testified that Diddy was part of a hidden power network, one that may have orchestrated Jackson's downfall. He pointed to Fahim Muhammad, Diddy's current head of security, who was also in charge of Jackson's safety during his final day. He detailed Michael's chilling final phone call. He claimed Jackson knew he was being hunted, and Kanye swore that Diddy was the one pulling the strings. This wasn't a meltdown. This wasn't paranoia. This was a warning. In this video, we break down Kanye's shocking testimony, the mounting evidence, and the disturbing web of connections that could change everything. The courtroom was already on edge. Day after day of disturbing testimony had left jurors visibly shaken, but nothing could have prepared them for what happened when Kanye West walked in. Dressed in black, sunglasses off, hands trembling slightly but voice steady, Kanye took the stand as if he had been waiting his whole life for this moment. "I'm not here to talk about music," he began. "I'm here to talk about murder." Gasps echoed through the room. The judge ordered silence, but the tension refused to die down. Kanye then calmly explained that he had been asked to speak not just about Diddy's behavior, but about his alleged involvement in what he called the systemic takedown of Michael Jackson. This wasn't tabloid gossip. This wasn't a theory whispered backstage. Kanye alleged that the same forces that tried to have him institutionalized using his former trainer, Harley Pasternak, were also connected to the people who circled Michael in his final days. Kanye pointed directly to Fahim Muhammad, now Diddy's longtime security chief, who was also hired as Jackson's personal bodyguard just months before his death in 2009. According to Kanye, Fahim wasn't just there for protection. He was there to make sure Michael didn't talk. Kanye claimed that the same people who warned him to fall in line or disappear had once told Michael the exact same thing. "If you go against us, you won't make it to the stage." Kanye quoted a message he said was relayed to both him and Michael in different form, but Michael didn't listen, and neither did he. Then Kanye dropped the real bombshell. He had heard Michael's final voicemail. He claimed the Jackson family played it for him in confidence. In it, Michael sounded terrified, breathing heavily, whispering as if someone might be listening. The last line of the message reportedly said, "Tell them it's Puffy. He knows. He's here." The gallery froze. Jurors looked horrified. Diddy was seen gripping the edge of the table, his lawyers urgently whispering in his ear. Kanye simply repeated, "Michael knew." As Kanye continued, he focused heavily on a name that has rarely appeared in the mainstream press, Fahim Muhammad. While much of the public remains unaware of Fahim's background, Kanye made it his mission to shed light on who this man really was, and why his presence at both Michael Jackson and Diddy's side might not be coincidence. Kanye began by asking a simple but chilling question. Why would the most famous man on earth, Michael Jackson, entrust his life to a 20-year-old with no high-level security experience? At the time Fahim was hired, he had just graduated from Sacramento State. Yet within months, he was placed in charge of security for the most targeted celebrity on the planet. Even stranger, Kanye pointed out, Fahim wasn't selected by Jackson himself. According to testimony from the 2011 Conrad Murray trial, Fahim was introduced through industry connections. And those connections? They traced right back to Sean Combs. Kanye claimed that Fahim had long been working for Diddy in various capacities, even unofficially, and that his role in Jackson's security detail was more about control than protection. He told the jury that Fahim had access to Michael's schedule, prescriptions, staff, and most dangerously, his fears. Then Kanye revealed another layer. Fahim had been a guest speaker at the prestigious Wharton School, which Kanye insisted insisted was a red flag, stating that institutions like Wharton have long-standing relationships with military intelligence. Kanye didn't outright say Fahim was an intelligence operative, but he leaned into the implication. "What kind of bodyguard speaks at Wharton?" he asked the jury. "Not one who carries a gun, one who carries a mission." He recounted rumors that Fahim helped clear hard drives and erase security footage from Michael's mansion after his death. And now, Kanye said, this same man helps Diddy run his empire. He described Lil Rod's lawsuit, which named Fahim Muhammad as the enforcer behind a criminal operation. The same lawsuit that alleged Fahim could make people and problems disappear. "First Michael Jackson," Kanye said, "then me. Who's next?" Kanye then shifted his attention to a topic he had hinted at many times over the years, but had never before discussed so directly in court. Handlers, the shadowy figures he claims are placed in celebrities' lives to control, manipulate, and silence them. He pointed to his former trainer, Harley Pasternak, as his own handler, someone who once texted him, threatening to send him back to Zombieland if he didn't comply. Kanye looked the jury straight in the eye and said, "That man threatened to lock me up in a psych ward for not behaving. What do you think happens to people who don't play along?" He then drew a direct connection between Harley and Fahim. Two different handlers, two different artists, one goal, control. According to Kanye, Michael Jackson was given his own version of a Harley. Except this one didn't just threaten to drug him. This one had the keys to his house, his medicine cabinet, and his fate. Kanye replayed the pattern. Michael gains power by owning half of Sony's catalog. He challenges Tommy Mottola. He protests in public. Then suddenly, he's sick, sedated, and dead, with Fahim Muhammad in charge of his security. Kanye rises to fame, challenges Adidas, the Grammys, Balenciaga, even Jay-Z. He refuses to fall in line. Suddenly, he's being told to go back to Zombieland, being forced into hospitals, losing deals, becoming, in his words, a modern-day Michael. But Kanye wasn't done. He revealed that other artists who stood too tall, too proud, Prince, DMX, Whitney, had also expressed fear before their deaths. "You don't have to believe me," Kanye said. "Just look at the pattern. They silence us." And they smile doing it. The jury sat silent. One member reportedly teared up. Diddy, meanwhile, stared blankly ahead, his face unreadable, but his body language tense. The judge called a brief recess. But the impact had already landed. Kanye's testimony took a darker turn as he began to narrate what he claimed was shared with him by someone within the Jackson family. A final phone call made by Michael Jackson just days before his death. A voicemail never played for the public, but reportedly saved and documented by a family insider. According to Kanye, the voice message was Michael's last attempt to reach out, riddled with anxiety and fear. "I don't feel safe," the voice said. "He's here. I know he is. They're trying to take everything." Kanye quoted the final chilling words of that voicemail. "Tell them it's Puffy. He knows he's here. Please protect the kids." Gasps filled the courtroom again, and the judge demanded order, but the gravity of that quote landed hard. Kanye claimed the call had been made to someone close to Michael, who had ignored the warning signs at the time. Kanye said that in the days leading up to Michael's death, he became increasingly isolated, barred from his own team, forced to work with people he barely knew, surrounded by what Kanye called industry plants with security badges. He pointed directly at Fahim Muhammad again. Why was a kid in his early 20s, barely out of college, assigned to the most famous man on earth? Kanye asked. Why did Michael's longtime security staff suddenly disappear? Why was Fahim put in place, and by who? Kanye brought up one overlooked detail. Michael's security camera system reportedly malfunctioned on the night of his death. The same house that was supposed to be locked down with surveillance failed, he said. Footage was wiped. Cameras were down. Just like in the Diddy tunnel, footage disappeared. And then Kanye dropped a theory that rocked the room. What if Michael wasn't supposed to die from propofol? What if he was being prepped for something else and they messed it up? What if someone panicked and pulled the plug too soon? He described the financial stakes. Michael was worth billions in publishing rights. His comeback tour was expected to break global records. And the catalog? Kanye added, that catalog is worth killing for. He closed this portion with a single line. Michael's death was the cleanest business move Sony ever made. Kanye's words opened the floodgates, not just about Michael Jackson, but about what he said was a broader pattern that had haunted the music industry for decades. In Part 5, the focus shifted to a grim list of artists who Kanye claimed tried to fight the system and ended up silenced, either in death or in disgrace. Whitney Houston, DMX, Prince, Amy Winehouse, Lisa, Left Eye Lopes, Kanye recited, as if reading a eulogy. Each one tried to break free, each one tried to speak truth, and each one is gone. He mentioned how Prince had openly battled Warner Brothers for the rights to his music and warned others about contracts and labels controlling their soul. Prince was later found unresponsive in an elevator, alone, after warning friends that someone was trying to silence him. Kanye recounted Prince's strange final appearances, where he spoke cryptically about death and being watched. Then came Whitney Houston. Kanye claimed she had once told Clive Davis that she knew too much, especially about certain freak parties that he alleged had links to Diddy's circle. Her erratic final days, Kanye said, weren't random. They paint you crazy, so they don't have to explain your death. He referenced Lisa Left Eye Lopes, who recorded a video days before her death in Honduras, saying she was being followed and that spirits were warning her. You know what she said in that video? Kanye asked. She said she was being hunted. Then her car went off a road with no barriers. Kanye claimed these weren't coincidences. They were coordinated purges of non-compliant artists. When you stop being useful to the machine, or you speak out, or you own too much, you become a liability, he said. The courtroom watched as Kanye named one more artist, Biggie Small. You think it's a coincidence that Biggie's death remains unsolved? He asked. Or that the only one left from that circle standing tall is Diddy? Sean Diddy Combs, and the infrastructure Kanye described as one of the most protected empires in music history. According to Kanye, the Diddy brand was not just about music, it was about power, leverage, and control. A front, he claimed, for something far more sinister. Kanye pointed to the Lil Rod lawsuit, which alleges that Diddy orchestrated parties involving sex trafficking, drugs, and bribery. But Kanye told the jury that this was just the surface. The real operation, he claimed, was about influence, about control, and about eliminating threats. He said that Diddy maintained ties with executives, politicians, and former intelligence agents. This is why people disappear. This is why lawsuits vanish, Kanye said. You can't fight this with a lawyer. You fight it with a spotlight. He cited the federal raids on Diddy's homes and claimed that not all of the footage seized was revealed to the public. I've seen parts of it, Kanye said. Tunnels, documents, names. Some of the names are still in the industry. Some of them run companies. Some of them sit in this courtroom. Then he exposed what he called the pyramid, a network of assistants, stylists, producers, trainers, bodyguards, and lawyers who all served a central purpose: silence and surveillance. You're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to talk. And if you do, you'll never work again. Or worse. Kanye claimed that Fahim Muhammad, again, was the enforcer. He's the one who makes the calls, who clears the phones, who tells you to shut up or sleep forever. Then came the dagger. Fahim was there when Michael died. Fahim is here now. What changed? He ended this segment with the words, "The industry didn't just kill Michael. It turned his death into a business model." As Kanye West spoke these words in open court, the room sat in stunned silence. His accusations weren't vague. They were direct, specific, and damning. Diddy sat motionless at the defense table, but those watching closely noticed the way his jaw clenched, his fingers twitched, and how he leaned in to whisper furiously to his legal team. Something had cracked. Diddy's carefully crafted composure was slipping. Kanye's words weren't just testimonies, they were lightning bolts. At one point, Kanye locked eyes with Diddy and said slowly, "You know what you did to him. You watched the king fall." The room exploded with murmurs. The judge struck the gavel for order. Reporters in the room whispered into their phones, documenting every detail as if history was unfolding live. According to multiple court sketch artists and legal observers, Diddy visibly shook his head at Kanye's statements, but didn't deny them. He didn't scream, didn't object. He looked cornered. One journalist from Rolling Stone tweeted, "Diddy's face went blank, like he wasn't in control anymore." Kanye flipped the entire courtroom with that one line. Kanye continued, referencing past past meetings with Michael. He told me he was scared. He told me people were following him, that he felt like someone inside his own home was planning against him. He never said Diddy's name back then, Kanye admitted, but he said the description of the person matched Fahim Muhammad. Young, calm, always watching. Someone Michael never hired himself. He didn't trust him. This part of Kanye's testimony felt less like a rant and more like a revelation. The courtroom wasn't watching a celebrity meltdown. They were watching a man unburden himself of something he said he had carried for years. "I'm not here to entertain," Kanye said. "I'm here because a man died and another man got rich from it." That final accusation, a veiled reference to Diddy's 2010 music catalog acquisitions and rumored $700 million empire built partly off MJ's death, sent shockwaves. Not just because of the dollar amount, but because it reframed the motive. Kanye painted a picture. Michael Jackson was more valuable dead than alive, and someone ensured that transition happened with precision. Kanye's testimony didn't just detonate inside the courtroom. The moment it was live-streamed and tweeted out, a media storm unlike anything in recent memory erupted. Every outlet from CNN to TMZ ran headlines. Kanye West says Diddy had Michael Jackson killed. Courtroom chaos as Kanye accuses Diddy of orchestrating MJ's death. But what made the world stop was the response from the Jackson family. Jermaine Jackson, in an emotional Instagram post, wrote, "Kanye said what we couldn't say for 15 years. My brother was murdered, and the industry knows it." LaToya Jackson issued a statement via her attorney. "I've said it before. Michael didn't die from an overdose. He died because someone wanted him silenced. We're now ready to speak under oath." And then came the leaked internal emails, reportedly obtained by an anonymous whistleblower from AEG, suggesting that executives were aware Michael was physically unfit for the tour, but proceeded anyway. One chilling email read, "He doesn't need to be well. He just needs to make it through opening night." Kanye's testimony had opened a vault. Even former Jackson staff members began contacting the court, offering to testify. One claimed they saw unfamiliar security men inside Michael's home the night before he died. Another said Michael had grown so paranoid he would sleep with music blasting to drown out the voices he thought were being piped in through the wall. Meanwhile, legal experts began revisiting the role of Fahim Muhammad, questioning why he was not cross-examined during Conrad Murray's trial. "We missed something," said a retired detective who worked the Jackson case in 2009. "This wasn't just bad medicine. This may have been a setup." Every major news station ran panels. Some dismissed Kanye's claims as conspiratorial. Others replayed his testimony line by line, pausing on the moment he said, "They're still watching us." Public opinion shifted fast. Kanye wasn't trending for a new album. He was trending because he might have finally blown the lid off something people feared was true all along. As the court recessed after Kanye's testimony, the buzz inside the courthouse was electric. Security was increased. Reporters scrambled to confirm the Jackson family's rumored subpoenas. The judge reportedly called an emergency meeting with both legal teams to address the gravity of the accusations. The case against Diddy had just taken a historic turn. Diddy's defense team tried to downplay Kanye's words, calling them irrelevant and unverified personal delusions. But the public wasn't buying it. Social media exploded with clips of Kanye saying, "They want to call me crazy, but I'm just the only one telling the truth." Behind the scenes, prosecutors reportedly began re-evaluating witness lists. Fahim Muhammad, long quiet, rarely seen, was now a name being circulated with urgency. Rumors swirled that federal investigators were revisiting closed Jackson files, especially in light of the resurfaced voicemail and new testimonies. But the most heartbreaking development came from Michael's children. One insider claimed that Paris Jackson had privately told friends she believed her father's death wasn't an accident. Prince Jackson reportedly wrote a now-deleted tweet that read, "My father feared the industry, and now I understand why." The trial wasn't just about Diddy anymore. It had become a referendum on the music industry itself, its cover-ups, its ghosts, its hunger for control. And Kanye West, once dismissed as a loud, unstable figure, had placed himself squarely in the center of history. The final question, lingering in the air, will this testimony change change anything? Because if Kanye is right, and Diddy played even a part in orchestrating the downfall of the greatest entertainer who ever lived, then this isn't just a trial, it's a reckoning.